Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole flag of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. The Most High, the Heavenly Father, his Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Nahaya, not Allah, not Abba, not Yahuwah, not Hashem, not Yahweh, Haveh, Vaveh. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua, not Yahusha, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos. It's Yahweh Shai. So we got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rekag Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elder, bishop, and elders of great millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all Israel, whether accepted or not. In a sincere salutation to all the Akim, believing this truth and pushing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, shedding light to the whole elect. Shalom to the outwealth who are listening learning. If you sus well listening learning. I'm Isaiah from GMS Orlando, Camp Prophet Doom, coming as another lesson in truth, fact, faith, and edification, or daily edification. Lord, what is better find? And this is copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. This is for educational purposes only. This is not for monetary gain. I do not own the copyright to this video, to these videos. This is for educational purposes only. Lord willing, it's be edifying.
Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. Today we're diving into a narrative that has been circulating everywhere, from podcasts to panels to social media echo chambers. You've heard it. Men are lonely. Men are struggling. Men are desperate out here. But let's be honest. This so-called male loneliness epidemic has been weaponized and exaggerated, not to understand men, but to uplift a certain kind of modern woman propaganda. Today's video breaks down a hard truth many don't want to talk about. The loneliness narrative isn't rooted in men being helpless or starving for attention. It's rooted in the behavior of a loud minority of modern women whose attitudes have pushed healthy partnership off the table. While some women claim men are weak, desperate, or dying for companionship, the reality is that men are becoming more selective, more cautious, and more intentional with their peace. Meanwhile, the same women pushing the narrative are often the ones struggling the most in the dating market, yet pretending they hold all the leverage. We're unpacking how the boss chick, hyper-independent ideology tried to flip the script and paint men as broken, isolated, and needy, when in reality, it's many modern women who feel the sting of their own choices. When respect, femininity, cooperation, and genuine relationship skills left the room, loneliness didn't hit men the hardest. It hit the women who believed they didn't need anyone until the silence got loud. So today, we're cutting through the noise. We're exposing the propaganda. And we're getting real about who is actually lonely, who is thriving, and why the narrative exists in the first place. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop a comment, and share this discussion. And if you'd like to support the channel, hit that thanks button. Just click the 3 dots under the video and you'll see it right there. The male loneliness lie, how boss chick propaganda invented a crisis to control the narrative. For the last few years, social media has been flooded with a very specific talking point. Men are lonely, men are suffering, men can't get women, men are collapsing. And who repeats this the loudest? Not psychologists, not researchers, not actual men. It's the self-proclaimed boss chick class. Women who built entire identities on independence, superiority, and the belief that men would forever chase them no matter how high the attitude climbed or how low the relationship quality dropped. Their message is simple. Men are lonely because they can't get us. Reality check. Men aren't lonely. Men are uninterested in chaos. What's collapsing is not men's well being, but the influence some women assume they'd always hold. This entire epidemic is a myth, a marketing campaign designed to keep men in emotional check while masking an uncomfortable truth. It's not the men who are lonely, it's the women who can no longer control the game. The loneliness narrative exists to reassure a certain type of woman. Let's be brutally honest. The men are lonely narrative is not compassionate. It is not empathetic. It is not concerned for men's mental health. It serves three strategic purposes for the boss chick mindset. One, it maintains the illusion of female leverage. If men are desperate, then it means they'll chase harder, they'll tolerate more, they'll accept disrespect, they'll overlook entitlement. It's psychological positioning. You need us more than we need you. But men aren't auditioning for that role anymore. Two, it hides the growing dissatisfaction among independent women themselves. Many of the same women broadcasting male loneliness are quietly dealing with dwindling romantic options, fewer long-term relationship offers, aging out of attention economies, burnout from carrying masculine loads, emotional fatigue from pretending they never needed partnership. Claiming men are the lonely ones is deflection. It's projection wrapped in empowerment slogans. Three, it reframes men opting out as some kind of tragic failure. Because the only thing more threatening than a man who wants you is a man who doesn't need you. Men are not lonely. Men are evolving. The truth is simple. Men have stopped chasing dysfunction. They're not disappearing from relationships because they can't find women. They're disappearing because many modern relationship environments are competitive instead of cooperative, masculinity wars instead of partnership, transactional instead of intimate, criticism-based instead of supportive. Men today have realized peace is priceless, drama is expensive, respect is non-negotiable, effort must be reciprocated. Commitment is only for the woman who actually wants to build. This isn't loneliness. This is self-preservation. Men are building lives with strong friendships, male communities, hobbies and passions, gym culture, financial independence, purpose-focused routines. Does that sound like an epidemic? Or does that sound like a generation of men who finally understand their value? Part 3, the real crisis. Men aren't buying the propaganda anymore. Here's the part the boss chick narrative can't stand. Men walking away is not the same as men being lonely. But if they admitted that, it would expose too much. That men have standards now. That men will reject dysfunction. That men are emotionally self-sufficient. That men are not intimidated by being single. That men have realized peace, proximity to anyone. The old leverage is gone. The old power dynamic is gone. The old fear tactic, you'll be lonely without us, no longer works. So instead of adjusting, some women have resorted to rewriting reality. Men are lonely. Men are failing. Men are struggling. No, men are simply not negotiating with entitlement anymore. Part 4, the new truth women don't want to face. Let's make it plain. Men are fine. But some women are not. Many women are waking up to the emptiness of independence as identity, the exhaustion of being hyper-competitive, the loneliness of rejecting partnership roles, the reality that men aren't obligated to pursue them, the truth that you can't shame men into relationships anymore. Instead of admitting they miscalculated, some women market a crisis that doesn't exist. They claim men are lonely, so they don't have to admit they're confused. They claim men are failing, so they don't have to admit their expectations became delusional. They claim men are suffering, so they don't have to admit men simply stopped tolerating what was never healthy. The male loneliness epidemic is not a crisis among men. It's a coping mechanism among women who lost their advantage. Modern women's media has spent years painting a picture of men as emotionally lost, socially isolated, and desperate for feminine companionship. But when you look past the talking points and influencer propaganda, the reality is very different. Today's men are not collapsing from loneliness. Many are simply disengaging from women who bring stress, entitlement, disrespect, or combative energy into their lives. They are choosing peace over chaos, quiet over conflict, purpose over confusion. What's being labeled as loneliness is often just men stepping back from relationships that offer them no value, no appreciation, and no emotional safety. Meanwhile, a certain group of modern women have built an entire identity around pretending that they're the ones rejecting men, when deep down, the tables have turned. The louder some women boast about not needing a man, the more they tend to struggle in forming and maintaining meaningful connections. The irony is that while they mock men for being lonely, they are often the ones who can't secure a healthy relationship, can't maintain long-term stability, and can't find a man who wants to commit to their attitudes, their behavior, or their worldview. This disconnect has created a delusional echo chamber where accountability disappears and projection becomes the norm. The male loneliness epidemic talking point also ignores the quiet but powerful shift happening among men. Many are investing in themselves, their careers, their health, and their biblical or personal growth. Instead of chasing validation from women who treat relationships as competition, negotiation, or leverage, men are learning to guard their energy. They are building their own communities, pursuing their goals, and becoming increasingly intentional about the type of women they allow into their lives. So when women say men are lonely, what they often mean is, men aren't chasing me anymore. And that's a very different conversation. But the narrative persists because it benefits a certain mindset. Some modern women need the illusion of male desperation to justify their own inflated dating expectations. It allows them to believe they still hold leverage, even as they age, overvalue themselves, or refuse to adjust their attitudes. The propaganda keeps them from facing the harsh truth. Men have evolved, the dating market has shifted, and entitlement is no longer enough to secure a relationship. Men have options, and they're exercising them more than ever. Conclusion: the truth is simple. There is no male loneliness epidemic. There is a female loneliness epidemic and an accountability crisis. The narrative that men are starving for companionship is nothing more than a shield used by women who don't want to confront the consequences of their choices, their attitudes, or the feminist messaging they embraced. Men are not more desperate. They're more selective. They're not weaker. They're wiser. And as more men walk away from toxic dating dynamics, the ones left feeling the sting are not the men, but the women who believe the lies of independence, ego, and superiority. If we want real connection, the conversation has to shift from propaganda to truth. And the truth is that men aren't the ones suffering the most from modern dating culture. The women who push the loudest, mock the hardest, and listen the least are the ones now facing the silence. Men aren't hiding in dark rooms crying over the absence of a woman who doesn't respect them. Men are not at the singles events, and they are no longer in the club. They're working, lifting, building, growing, traveling, and living. They're choosing quality, not desperation. Peace, purpose, not propaganda. And that's the real threat to the boss chick worldview. Because if men don't need to be shamed into relationships, if men don't fear loneliness, if men don't crumble without feminine validation, then the whole narrative collapses, and it has. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, leave a like and a comment. And if it is your first time,
All right, so, and also, I want to play this one that she did.
if you're new. Today, we're diving into an uncomfortable but necessary truth about modern women and the collapse of public self-respect. We are living in what I call the age of filth, a time when vulgar, hypersexual clothing has become normalized, celebrated, and
Now that's beautiful, because looking at this one here, it reads, modern culture, feminism has sold women a self-destruction. What? A self-destruction. I can't open it. I'll wait. I want to play these. I listened to these two today. And I'm going to tie this lesson. Women feminism don't matter, according
worn
to the
in broad
Bible.
daylight with zero shame, zero awareness, and zero accountability. What used to be considered bedroom attire is now worn to grocery stores, airports, restaurants, and and even in front of children. And somehow, society is expected to applaud this as confidence, body positivity, and expressing yourself. But let's be real, this isn't empowerment. This is the absence of boundaries. This is self respect in free fall. This is a generation of women who were told that modesty is oppression, femininity is outdated, and attention, any attention, is validation. Instead of dignity, we see desperation. Instead of style, we see shock value. Instead of class, we see chaos disguised as being fearless. The uncomfortable reality is that public femininity has collapsed into public vulgarity. What used to be a private expression is now broadcast everywhere, all the time, as if the world is obligated to accept it. And the worst part? Many women genuinely believe this is liberation, when it's actually the biggest sign of internal emptiness, emotional chaos, and a culture that has lost its moral anchor. Today, we're breaking it all down, why it's happening, how society encouraged this decline, and the consequences modern women are now facing because of it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop a comment, and share this discussion. And if you'd like to support the channel, hit that thanks button. Just click the 3 dots under the video and you'll see it right there. The age of filth, how public self-respect collapsed into exhibitionism. Let's stop pretending we don't see it. Walk through any major city, any grocery store, any school parking lot, and you'll witness something that would have been unthinkable a generation ago. Vulgar, hypersexual clothing being worn casually in broad daylight, as if public spaces are extensions of private bedrooms or nightclub dance floors. We're not talking about confidence. We're talking about public indecency, masquerading as empowerment. Somewhere along the way, society replaced dignity with shock value, modesty with attention hunting, and class with look at me by any means necessary. And now we're drowning in a culture where underwear becomes outerwear, sheer fabrics reveal everything, and women genuinely act offended if anyone suggests that public standards still matter. We've entered an era where many dress like they're auditioning for validation rather than showing up as contributing adults. Outfits that used to signal desperation or nightlife now appear in churches, airports, classrooms, and family restaurants. The bar has dropped so low that dragging pajamas, exposed bodies, and explicit slogans printed across private areas are considered normal daytime attire. Respect for shared environments? Gone. Awareness of children present doesn't matter. Everything is my truth, even if it degrades the environment for everyone else. The saddest part? This isn't liberation. It's the illusion of power sold by a culture addicted to exposure. Social media has convinced millions of women that the only currency that matters is attention, and the quickest way to earn it is by revealing as much as possible. But attention isn't respect, and shock isn't confidence. It's cultural decay camouflaged as self-expression. Public presentation used to represent respect, not just in yourself, but in your community, your family, your environment. Now, too many treat public spaces like private stages, demanding applause while rejecting accountability. And the moment anyone says, maybe wear something decent in public, they're labeled judgmental, outdated, or oppressive. No, it's called standards, and every functional society needs them. We have to be honest. When everything is sexualized, nothing is sacred. When everything is allowed, quality disappears. When attention becomes the goal, self-respect becomes the casualty. The age of filth didn't arrive overnight. It crept in slowly as women stopped caring how they represent themselves. And now we're confronted with a culture where self-exposure is celebrated while self-respect is dismissed as old-fashioned. Modern women today are living in a cultural moment where dignity has taken a back seat to attention-seeking, and the results are impossible to ignore. What used to be considered inappropriate, embarrassing, or indecent has now become mainstream. Hypersexual clothing is worn in public with no sense of boundaries, no awareness of setting, and no understanding of how it shapes public perception. We are witnessing a generation that equates exposure with empowerment, believing that showing more skin automatically equals confidence. But the truth is far more uncomfortable. It reflects insecurity, emotional instability, and a desperate need for validation from strangers. When a woman respects herself, she doesn't need to walk around half naked to feel seen. When she knows her value, she doesn't rely.
And we understand, now we understand that the Lord did this to show Israel, the men of Israel, how we went off, how we defiled the Lord. When you go to Jeremiah 30 and 22, it reads this. I'm sorry, Jeremiah 31 and 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. So this was this is a disgrace to us as men. Now, I saw this video a little while ago. Let me see if I can find it. Right here. I put this in the chat. This demon said, nigga mad, I cheated on him on my birthday. Nigga, this my day. And the elder, Yash woman, said, I'm so tired of this. One of the elders, because it's from the main chat. I'm so tired of this effing place. This demon said, nigga mad, I cheated on him on my birthday. Nigga, this my day. See? And this goes back to this damn devil, man. But as I read this here, Jeremiah 31:22, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall come past a man. And I used to tell the brother this all the time in the camp. Hey, if you got a re-up, right? And she committed adultery. You take her back. Let's say you take her back. Let's say she committed adultery again. Let's say you take her back again. And I'm just saying. Let's say you take her back the second time and she committed adultery a third time. Even a fourth time. There is nothing. Now, the scripture tell you, hey, if she would not have you, if she would not go, if you would have her, give us a bill of divorce. Because they ain't not women anyway, because they already done been with other men before you. And in my lifetime, I have had one virgin. Like, I broke her hymen. But the point I want to make is, I tell brothers all the time, and I've been saying this for a long time. Even if you're real or a chick you dealing with commit adultery, you can get rid of her. You can get with another chick that commit adultery and adultery. Maybe not commit adultery. Maybe not. The point I'm making is what your real or some slow belly Evite demon would do to you, there is nothing a woman can do to us as men of the Lord. There is nothing. I don't care how bad it get. And she probably never committed adultery on you. She probably talk shit all the time. You can never get this demon to shut the fuck up. She always got to have the last word. She always got to... Hey, and a woman got to have the last word all the time. She probably never committed adultery on you. She just talk shit all the time. You just want to knock her head off. Listen. There is nothing that a woman can do to us in this lifetime. I'm talking about us, men of the Lord. Lord willing, we'll endure to the end. Lord willing that we are men of Yahweh. Bahashim Yahushua. There is nothing a woman can do to you that we haven't done to Yahweh, man. This is Isaiah 54:4. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be thou confounded, for thou shalt not be put to shame. For thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth, and shalt not remember the reproach of thy widowhood anymore. For thy Maker is thy husband. Yahweh of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. The God of the whole earth shall he be called. For Yahweh have called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth when thou was refused, saith thy power. For a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee. In a little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment, but with everlasting kindness, which is Isaiah 31. And I read the other day in Psalms 107. But with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith Yahweh, thy Redeemer. And here in Jeremiah 3, it reads, they say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him, and become another man's, shall he return unto her? Should not that land, that box, be greatly polluted? The pussy be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers. Yet return again to me, saith Yahweh. When you go here to Ezekiel 16, you know what we did as men of the Lord? I just want to get this point. Read the whole chapter. In Ezekiel 16, this is what we did. The Lord say, I'm trying to find the precept. Verse 26, it reads, thou hast also committed fornication with the Egyptians, thy neighbors, greater flesh, and has increased thy whoredoms to provoke me to anger. Right? This is verse 28. Thou hast played the whore also with the Assyrians, because thou was unsatiable. Yeah, thou hast played the harlot with them, and yet couldst not be satisfied. Now, when you go to here, the Lord said, this is, I should bring this out all the time, man. This is Ezekiel 16 in verse 14. And thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty. This is in Deuteronomy chapter 4. For it was perfect through my comeliness, Yahweh's comeliness, which I have put upon thee, saith Yahweh power. But thou didst trust in thy own beauty. Joshua 1 wax fat and kick, Deuteronomy 32. And playedest the harlot because of thy renown, and pours out thy fornication on everyone that passed by. His it was. And of thy garments thou didst take, and deckest thy high places with divers colors, and playest the harlot thereupon. The like things shall not come, neither shall it be so. Thou hast also taken thy fair jewels of my gold and of my silver, which I had given thee, and madest to thyself images of men, and didst commit whoredom with them, and tookest thy broided garments, and covered them, and thou hast set my oil and my incense before them. My meat also which I gave thee, fine flour and oil and honey, wherewith I fed thee, thou hast even set it before them for a sweet savor. And thus it was, saith Yahweh power. Moreover, thou hast taken thy sons and thy daughters, whom thou hast born unto me, and these have thou sacrificed unto them to be devoured. To Molech, is this of thy whoredom a small matter, that thou hast slain my children? Because when you read in Exodus 13, the Lord said, he told Moses, every male that openeth the womb and beast, which is of no blemish, is the Lord's, that thou hast slain my children and delivered them to cause them to pass through the fires for them. And in thine abominations and thy whoredoms thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, when thou wast naked and bare, and was polluted in thy blood. And it came to pass, after all thy wickedness, woe, woe unto thee, saith Yahweh, that thou hast also built unto thee an eminent place, and has made thee an high place in every street. Listen, thou hast built thy high place at every head of the way, and has made thy beauty to be abhorred, and has opened thy feet to every one that passed by, and multiplied thy whoredoms. Verse 25, Ezekiel 16 and 25, thou hast built thy high place at every head of the way, and has made thy beauty to be abhorred, and has opened thy feet to every one that passed by, and multiplied thy whoredoms. Do you know what it means to open your feet to everyone that passed by you? You have given every nation some of that box. Look at this. Ecclesiastes 25. It reads here. Verse 23. I'm sorry. Ecclesiastes 26. Ecclesiastes 26 and 12. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he have found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down, and open her quiver against every arrow. This is what a woman will do to you. Here's a precept to this verse in Ecclesiastes 26 and 12. The precept to that is Proverbs chapter 30, right here in verse 20. Look at this. This is the precept to that verse. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth sucking rods, and wipeth her mouth when she go home, and saith, I have done no wickedness. But she been out sucking dick. Excuse my Swahili, my French, whatever you want to call it. I don't give a damn. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I have done no wickedness. For a woman to eateth and wipeth her mouth, she been slobbing on knobs all night, or one knob all night. Had a whole weekend with a nigga, and came back to you and said, we had girls' night. Yeah, let's go back to
Rely
this.
on shock value to gain attention. The collapse of modesty isn't a sign of progress, it's a sign of cultural decay. This shift didn't happen overnight. It was engineered by pop culture, social media trends, celebrity influence, and a hypersexualized entertainment industry that tells women that their bodies, not their minds, not their character, not their wisdom, not their virtue, are their true currency. Instead of encouragement toward class, femininity, and dignity, women were told to take ownership of their sexuality, which slowly became show everything, everywhere, all the time. The more outrageous the outfit, the more likes. The more revealing the clothes, the more applause. Somewhere along the way, confidence became synonymous with lack of clothing, and any criticism became labeled as misogyny or judgment. Women learned to weaponize the language of empowerment to justify behavior that actually devalues them. This new normal is especially harmful because it blurs the line between private behavior and public presentation. Grocery stores, airports, schools, malls, and family spaces have become runways for lingerie, clubwear, see-through dresses, and outfits that used to belong strictly behind closed doors. Women walk around in pajamas, bonnets, shower caps, slippers, or wearing outfits so explicit that even adults do a double take. Yet they demand respect while presenting themselves in ways that scream disrespect. It's not about policing women's fashion. It's about acknowledging that respectability and presentation go hand in hand. A society where women stop respecting how they show up in public is a society slowly unraveling at the seams. But the saddest part is how many women genuinely believe this behavior is evolution. They believe they're free. They believe they're liberated. They believe they're breaking the rules. What they don't realize is they're playing right into a system designed to exploit and destroy them. The same system that sells them clothes that expose more than they cover. The same system that profits off insecurity by turning women into harlots instead of virtuous women. The same system that convinces women they are empowered while stripping them of the femininity, modesty, and self-respect that truly create lasting value. This isn't liberation. This is market manipulation disguised as empowerment. You can't get into heaven with this world imprinted on your mind. The ripple effects are massive, especially in dating and relationships. Many modern women complain that men don't take them seriously, but they refuse to consider how they present themselves plays a role in that perception. You cannot demand respect while showing no respect for yourself. You cannot seek a high-value man while presenting like someone who doesn't value her body, her femininity, or her image. The contradiction is glaring. Women want to be treated like ladies while dressing like attention seekers. They want commitment from men while displaying behavior consistent with temporary fun. They want respect from the world while refusing to respect themselves. These are incompatible realities, and no amount of feminist language can make them match. Another damaging layer is how older women participate in this trend as intensely as younger ones. Instead of offering wisdom, guidance, and example, too many older women have adopted the same hypersexual style, the same lack of dignity, the same need for attention. Rather than leading the younger generation, they're competing with them. And when grown women dress like teenagers seeking male validation, the culture sinks even further. When mothers dress like daughters going to the club, the foundation of feminine leadership collapses. Respectability begins in the older generation, but too many older women have abandoned their responsibility in favor of validation and relevancy. Public attire reveals more than fabric. It reveals internal values. When a culture normalizes vulgarity, it reflects a deeper crisis, a loss of self-worth, a misunderstanding of femininity, and a rejection of standards. Modesty is not oppression, it's discipline. Presentation is not control, it's self-respect. And clothing is not just fashion, it's communication. What you wear tells the world how to treat you. It signals your values, your boundaries, your mindset, and your expectations. When women stop caring, society stops caring too. And that is exactly what we are seeing. A culture where disrespect is rising because self-respect is falling. Modern women were told for years that they don't need a man, don't need validation, and don't owe anyone anything. Yet they perform daily for the attention of strangers online and offline. The contradiction is staggering. The same women who preach independence are the ones most dependent on external validation. The same women who scream empowerment are the ones most influenced by trends created to degrade them. The same women who claim to be strong are the ones dressing to attract the eyes of men they publicly claim to despise. And the result is a generation of women who are loud about independence, but silent about their inner emptiness. Ultimately, this isn't just about clothing. It's about the collapse of a standard that once protected women.
Hey, and that's all I need to play. Cause my point is, I don't know who this sister is, but she be going in. Her channel is Virtuous Women 1969, which is she is an old head. And she be going in on these broads, which is beautiful. And it's in the Lord is showing us that balance, but He's bringing down these women, man. This is Proverbs 14:1. It reads, "Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands." This is also Proverbs 18:22. Because this is the balance of Yahweh by Shema Shah. "Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of Yahweh. Ecclesiasticus chapter 3. And this sister be going in. This sister be going in on these 2/3 ass women, man. You see, the Lord is pointing out the 2/3 women. Ecclesiasticus chapter 3:9. "For the blessing of the father established the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooteth out foundations." Verse 11. "For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father, because of every child is from his father's seed." A woman don't got seed. "And a mother in dishonor is a reproach to the children." And the scripture tell you in 2nd Ezra that women shall give birth to monsters. These killers, these niggas, hey, it's so many articles that pop up that show you how these jits is killing their parents, man, killing their mamas. This is when you go. Let me go. Matter of fact, let me go back to this. I gotta get these precepts real quick. Ecclesiastes 26, right? Ecclesiastes 26:1. "Blessed is the man that have a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double. A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear Yahweh." This is verse 6. "But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman." That's called being selfish, because our women have been westernized, so they selfish. "And a scourge of the tongue which communicateth with all, talking trash about your sisters." Whether they southern or northern kingdom, that's what our women do. They talk trash about their sisters. Now, this is verse 7. "An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that hold of her is as though he held a scorpion. And the scorpion got a stinger that will put you to death. A drunken woman and a ghetto broad causeth great anger to her husband, and she would not cover her own shame." And this is the videos that this sister do on her channel. "The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids." Why is this written? Because now you got the regular eyelids of women, which is in Isaiah 3, right? It talks about a woman with wanton eyes. You know how many women we see come past camp? They be with a dude and they'll look at us. I just saw this last week. The broad looked right at me and had a dude she was walking with. But guess what? It's all spiritual, because now these brides get to wear these umbrellas, these lashes. "The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty look and eyelids. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly." And most of these women that's being born in America, Babylon the Great, has been born over these last 100 years. Sometimes they don't got fathers in the house. And we know, according to the scriptures, this ain't according to logic. This ain't according to what the world say. Every female, whether they had a man in the house, their father with them, or a stepfather, or they had no father, they look for a man that will or would give them guidance. Why? When you read these scriptures, it was ordained. It was ordained from Yahweh. Just like the prophets are ordained, it was ordained from your Heavenly Father Yahweh that once a woman get past the flower of her age, which is her period, she's supposed to be married straight to the husband whom the father chose. So you got two fathers. The one father got sons, the other father got daughters. And these are men that's been growing up together, cool. Your father grow corn, and he got cows and sheep. The other father, he grows asparagus, and he got whatever other type of antelopes. He may have elephants, whatever. But they both have land and they both have cattle. And this is called generational wealth, when two fathers come together to marry his son and his daughter, or his daughter and his son. It's generational wealth. A woman was not made to be on her own, not for even a fucking 1 minute. They're supposed to go straight from their father's house to their husband's house. And this is the Lord. So I'm watching this chick videos, and she be on point down to the T. And she an old bottle. Again, Ecclesiastes 26:10. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straightly, lest she abuse herself through over much liberty. And where do they get this liberty from? Liberty is, when you look at the word liberty, it means a permission. You know what license is? Hey, go look at the word license. It's a permission to fucking drive. Go look it up. If you got a business, you gotta go to the government, to your city, and say, I want a license to sell barbecue, or sell tacos, or I want a license to make candles. You're a candlestick maker. I don't give a damn. You got to go to the self-proclaimed so-called white man to get licensed for liberty. Liberty means you have the permission from the so-called white man to sell candles or to make candles. The Lord say in the prophecies, in the scriptures, he have never given any man license to sin. License is permission. The Lord don't give the hopeful elect permission to sin. The 2/3 niggas, that's the lust in their spirit. The Lord say, he do not tempt any man with lust and evil. That's already embedded in your dumb ass. Ecclesiastes 26:11. Watch over an imputed eye, and marvel not if she trespass against thee. Hey, if your woman, if you got a rib and she commit adultery, or you got a rib and she constantly talking shit, the Lord said don't marvel over it, because their asses is filled with demons. We understand it. We know it. We gladly understand it. They filled with demons. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when she hath found a fountain. Don't listen to Proverbs 5, the Lord say, Don't be drinking from all these different fountains. We have our own fountain, which is Deuteronomy 4. Start at verse 6. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And drink of every water near her. This is what a woman would do. Because and this is why Micah 7:10, the Lord say, she that's my enemy. What's she gonna say? Where is thy Lord? Because women don't believe in Yahweh Bashim Abishai. They gotta get it. If the Lord reactivate them to that spirit, it's because they learned it from men. They will not learn this on their own. They gotta get it from men of the Lord. She will open her mouth against as a thirsty traveler when he hath found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. But every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver, which is that box, against every arrow. That's the wicked chickens. Verse 13. Here's the righteous chickens. The grace of a wife, the life of her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones. This is a woman that they're about their men. They lean to their own understanding. They are about they fucking men. A silent and loving woman is a gift, Salakia, of the Lord. And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. These women are out there, but they are rare. Also, this is Ecclesiasticus 23 through 26. Going back to the 2/3, women. A wicked woman is given as the portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth Yahweh. A dishonest woman contemneth shame, but an honest woman will reverence her husband. And what the scripture tell you, that the men of Yahweh, the men of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, is going to reverence Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. This is the order that set up from the Yahweh set up from the beginning. The men of the Lord reverence Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, but the women that serving Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, they reverence Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua through their men. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, which is a bitch. But she that is shamefaced will fear Yahweh. A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all. But she that dishonoreth him in her pride, just like Eve did Adam, shall be counted ungodly of all. I want to get this. Where is it? Ecclesiasticus 34, Ecclesiastes 36 and 24. It reads this. He that getteth a wife begetteth a possession. You are a possession. Whether you acknowledge it, whether you accept it, whether you believe it or not, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. And it's a help like unto himself, and a pillow of rest. Where no hedge is, which is a woman that rule her own house, where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. Look at this. This is Mark 3 and 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. And this is what Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, did. I just saw these two clips from this chick, and I said I got to make some points on this. Lord was edifying. Got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rikah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles, elder bishop, and others, a great millstone, rule well, who teach well. Who are the apostles and others while Israel already accepted or not. In a sense, to say, teaching to all that I can believe in this truth, pushing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world shall not to the elect. Shalom to the world well listening, learning. If your sisters well listening, throughout tuning in. May Yahweh Bashim Yahushua continue to bless your houses. May the blessing and relation be upon your houses. And next time I say Shalom, Wa, Ababa. Look at this. Modern culture, feminism, has sold women a self-destruction.